Please lift. The Golden Book.
We talked about it yesterday. The Buddha radiates light and brings auspicious signs. These are the 10 types of light. We were talking about the 5th. 1. The Great Samadhi, light. So now, let's start with the 6th one. All right. The 6th is the Great Auspicious Light Cloud. Auspiciousness in ancient China is a kind of. It's universal. Blessings up to this point. What does it mean? Auspiciousness. The ancients said, this is a steadfast saying. What it means is that what we should receive. Everything can be obtained perfectly, which is auspicious. If you get something that you shouldn't have, it will be a disaster. So it's not easy at all. We use finances as a metaphor. Ill-gotten gains in Buddhist teachings are a serious violation. You shouldn't acquire them, no matter what means you use. If you do get them, the consequences are pretty severe. So this auspiciousness is what you should have, and you can fully realize it. If you get what you shouldn't, the consequences are pretty serious. So this auspiciousness is what you should have, and you can fully realize it. So this is about righteousness and profit. Yeah, righteousness is what should be. So this sentence, it's pretty clear to say, this is the worth of righteousness. In Buddhist teachings, great enlightenment, great nirvana, is what we should be receiving. The wisdom and virtue that are inherently present within self-confidence. It's what we should be receiving. Right. Blessings, ancient wisdom, yeah. Wisdom and virtue are not two, they are not separate. We understand what this means. Even oneself. We're talking about how, as ordinary people, we don't really have that joy in our inherent nature. So in this world, the facilities we can establish aren't just for this life, but for countless lives to come. Our blessings they are all earned through our efforts. It's not about integrity, seeing the faith. Only with the wisdom and blessings from self-confidence can we truly thrive. That blessing, it really flows out like spring water. Yeah, it's inexhaustible and never runs dry. That's the blessing of integrity, yeah. Without seeing one's true nature, this blessing is earned through virtue. Virtue is something you can use up. Let's use a metaphor here, something everyone can easily understand. This integrity, it's like having your own assets, your own family business. Yeah? You've got a gold mine at home. In this mine, there's a wealth of resources. Yeah, you could use it for countless lives and still not run out. It's got an incredibly rich stash. Yeah, you could use it for countless lives and still not run out, mate. But right now, that gold mine is buried under dirt and rocks. Yeah. If you don't mine it, you won't get a single cent. When you're having a meal, you've got to go to work. Yeah? You earn a bit of money just to get by for the day. But when you're having a meal, you've got to go to work. Yeah? You earn a bit of money just to get by for the day. But when you're having a meal, you've got to go to work. Yeah? You earn a bit of money just to get by for the day. But when you're having a meal, you've got to go to work. Yeah? You earn a bit of money just to get by for the day. Even if your family has billions in assets, you can't really benefit from it. The wisdom and virtues within our self-confidence, they're like a gold mine that hasn't been tapped into. So right now, it's pretty tough, yeah? You've got to do odd jobs out there. This blessing, it's something you can really wear yourself out trying to get. And you've got to work in a way that's proper and lawful. If you're trying to take shortcuts and do wrong, then you're committing a crime. Committing a crime, yeah. You should be getting what you deserve, but you're not. Instead, you'll face legal consequences. The principle is the same. So, we really need to understand this in this world. It's not what we should be getting. Decided, can't go. In Buddhism, the meaning of the teachings is simply not to allow it. No matter what means you use. If you gain what's not rightfully yours, you see. It's a disaster, not a blessing. This is something you really need to understand. It's wealth. That's already in your own destiny. We also need to. In our lifetime, the benefits we actually enjoy are really quite few. We shouldn't think about a whole lifetime. Thinking about a whole lifetime. It's really easy. Committing all sorts of mistakes. What does a truly enlightened person think about? Just listen. Today, all day long, you absolutely won't think about tomorrow. Like tomorrow, if you start having delusions and distinctions, you've got it wrong. Just focus on today. There's no tomorrow. Today, whatever we need for living, and even what we have left over, we are happy to share it with others. The 5 blessings are, share them with all living beings. So what about tomorrow, you might ask? Tomorrow will bring even more. How can there be more? It's about accumulating blessings, right? Accumulating blessings means that the good fortune will always increase outward. It won't disappear, right? You see, in this world, we can see it. Everywhere, in every corner of the globe. Because of wealth. They're working their guts out to save up, desperately trying to grow their wealth. But when it comes to social welfare, they won't part with a single cent for those in need. But you know, just a few years later, he made a blunder. Family shattered and lives lost. All his wealth has been completely consumed. It's all been deleted. This kind of phenomenon, throughout history and across the globe, it's everywhere. It's becoming a bit more trendy now, and it's getting more obvious in this world. Why not use the excess to fix things up? This is just confusion and inversion. When we talk about auspiciousness, we really need to understand what that means. Faith. For now, let's not worry about how we cultivate our virtues. How do we cultivate great welfare? This is something we often need to be taught, you know. Next, number 7. its great welfare and virtue shining universe. Adding the words are bright, and that cloud makes it all the more satisfying. Virtue is the main thing. It's just the Bodhisattva bowing. From giving to meditation, it's all about putting it into practice. Because of that, if you don't recognize the importance of keeping precepts, patience, and a support of diligence and meditation, only then can you achieve wisdom that's free from flaws. If there aren't the first 4 types. Even if you have wisdom, that wisdom is useful. The wisdom that is tainted is referred to in Buddhist teachings as. It looks ugly when viewed that way. It's not the wisdom of prajna, you know. Why does the Buddha place such emphasis on practice? You see, when we recite the 3 refuges, we take refuge in the Buddha and the 2 ancestors. This two refers to the wisdom of the Buddha. 2 types, ancestors complete, Buddha's merit and wisdom perfect, none compare. Once one becomes a Buddha, their merit and wisdom are complete. In attainment, none can compare, hence the most revered. In terms of attainment, no one can compare, so they are called the most revered and precious. There's nothing to be known here. The Buddha absolutely does not oppose people practicing Buddhism, and encourages the blessings of people. Why is that? This path, practicing the path, it's quite a challenging thing, you know. There are heaps of conditions on the path, and when you're trying to follow the right way, there are many obstacles. Merit can protect the Tridharma. It can truly protect you, yeah. We talk about the heavenly dragons and spirits protecting your Dharma, but what gives them the right to protect your teachings? Seeing that you have blessings and virtue. If you don't have any merit or virtue, and you're not cultivating them, even if you bow and do your practices every day, people won't pay you any mind. What gives them the right to care for the Dharma? If you're willing to practice generosity, people will admire you. They'll admire you. You're willing to uphold the precepts and show respect. So we seek the protection of all Buddhas and the heavenly beings, hoping they'll always look after us. We bow to them every day and ask for their help. You can't just flatter him or butter him up, yeah. As long as you earnestly follow the Buddha's teachings and don't go asking for things from him. Don't worry about him. Just live your life naturally. Why should I respect you? You stand out among the vast crowd, while others are creating karma. You're cultivating merit, yeah. That's how it is. We need to understand. So, in terms of form, we set up rituals. A real home. It's for the public to see. Using this method, inspire the masses. Let these confused and deluded beings awaken, yeah. Turn around, yeah. So the reason these rituals are done with such solemnity and grandeur is right here. In society, what you don't say, we perform this ritual with such solemnity and grandeur. The spirits and deities see it. So from this, we can understand all forms of everything. It's for the universal salvation of all beings. That's just the surface, yeah. The form must have meaning. Understanding is true cultivation. When the heart is pure, equal, and aware, it shows on the outside, spreading love and kindness everywhere. Achieve genuine and abundant blessings. Our blessings can be stored. Can help us open our wisdom in this world, what you might call the mundane. The blessings of the heart. Oh dear, this person has received their blessings. They've become particularly clever, usually seen as a bit slow, but suddenly their blessings have made them smart. There's truth in that. Usually seen as a bit slow, but suddenly their blessings have made them clever. There's truth in what they are saying. The main reason for the meeting is to revise things. Repairing is like being in hospital. Helping you with the meeting. So we need to gather again for practice. Next, we chant the mantra of merit and light. This merit is different from blessings. There's a difference. What you gain is what we usually call blessings. Blessings can be shared with others. Merit just can't be shared. What's a palace lantern? Congratulations on your practice and effort. When you put in the effort in your practice, you're bound to see results. So this again is related to the idea of gain and loss. There's definitely going to be a reward. For example, keeping the precepts has merit. That explanation is really good. Oil worker. Meditation is the concentration of virtue in the realm of virtue. No matter how well you keep the precepts, you can't achieve concentration. The effort is always a level short. If you keep the precepts really well, why can't you achieve concentration? Practice praised, be proud. You've done really well in your own practice, eh? To put it in modern terms, that's something to be proud of. Proud of achievements, but merit isn't from that. You've done a great job studying the scriptures. Hey, you've given some good talks on the platform, but then the merit just isn't there. The second kind of affliction. The merit vanishes. The second kind of affliction, A. Keeping the precepts all the way to the end helps with the afflictions from before. That's why in the meeting, Master Huineng from the Sixth Patriarch talks really well. He often discusses this. As a true practitioner, you won't see faults. Keep precepts for concentration. You need to keep the precepts to the point where you don't see the faults of the world, and then you'll achieve concentration. When you keep the precepts, it becomes a public thing, right? Keeping the precepts leads to concentration. Keeping the precepts is about merit, but you can't achieve concentration just by keeping the precepts. It's like repeating something. So keeping the precepts has two aspects. One is merit, and the other is the virtue of the Buddha. If you can achieve concentration, then what about cultivating concentration? It's the same. To cultivate properly, you need to open up your wisdom, and then that concentration turns into merit. Then that's got merit. Cultivating concentration without opening up your wisdom. This concentration is worldly meditation. How you practice, it's still just the 8 concentrations of Sichuan. The 4 meditations and the 8 concentrations don't lead to wisdom. You can't break free from the 3 realms. We really need to understand this principle. For those who practice, it's quite easy. That arrogance, that's what people in the world today call being proud. Others just can't compare. I'm a cut above the rest. As long as that thought arises, your merit is completely gone. So that's great merit. Can it eliminate sins? It can eliminate evil. It can generate goodness. Merit is what eliminates evil in the deep mountains. If your practice doesn't lead to the growth of goodness, then it's not right. That's completely wrong. Mate, we can't do that. I don't get it. So what about practicing in Buddhism? This is the main principle. Focus on the practice of observation. Chiantai praises the 3 fingers and the 3 views. When we chant the Buddha's name, we're not straying from it. It's about the practice of observation. The principle hasn't changed, mate. What's a crown? It's about handling the opposite. Practicing observation is about correcting all the wrong ideas we've had in the past. This is called practicing. So generally speaking, in hand practice, there are 3 levels. Awareness is key. Implementation means self-reminding of enlightenment. What does it mean to implement? It's about constantly reminding oneself of the concept of awakening. Constantly reminding yourself. This is awareness, right? When we talk about the benefits of awareness in our Pure Land practice, it's about the mastery of skills. Reading such Kung Fu. Yuri is too. Why is that? Each thought can be free from confusion. If you can keep your thoughts clear and aware in our Pure Land practice, that's the essence. This is where the heart truly gets its power. When the 6 senses come into contact with the 6 realms, that's when thoughts start to arise in the mind. That's where the heart truly finds its drive. When the 6 senses come into contact with the 6 realms, thoughts start to arise in the mind. Thoughts are mainly good and evil, right? It even means getting greedy. It doesn't align with what I want, so I started a morning meeting. What triggers that thought? There's no end when the dance machine starts up. That's not good at all. So, the six senses come into contact with the six realms. It's very alert. Amitabha Buddha, when a thought arises, immediately switch to Amitabha Buddha. This is what we talk about in the teachings, right? It's about awareness. It's all about the skill of awareness. Awareness. It's all about the skill of awareness, right? As the ancients said, it's not the thoughts that scare us, but the delay in awareness. When thoughts arise, it doesn't matter. You need to be quick to notice. This symbol immediately brings up the thought to switch it around. This is the audience. The skills in the official path have deepened. When you're alive, it's all natural. These delusional thoughts have stopped arising. This skill really can keep those thoughts from arising. This is what it means to have a steady focus on your work. This is called Jiao Zhu. In Chinese, Jiao Zhu is definitely the one. A bit of meditation money. To the highest level of skill, Jiao Jin. You see, we're reading the Heart Sutra, right? Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, seeing that the five aggregates are all empty, and that seeing, it's a state of wisdom. We've even had a meeting about the definitions. In our architecture, the understanding of the principles helps keep our focus steady. That's getting anxious. Seeing that the five aggregates are all empty, the five aggregates being empty, that's the truth of the universe and life. Experiencing all phenomena in the universe. The truth is that there's nothing to possess, nothing to gain. These two sentences have been repeated hundreds of times by the Buddha in the Great Prajnaparamita Sutra. So, if you skim through the 600 volumes of the Great Prajnaparamita, you might forget everything else, but this impression will be incredibly deep. Just remember these 6 words, the essence of the 600 volumes of the Great Prajnaparamita, and you've got it. The Buddha's teachings really do have their cleverness. As long as you remember these 6 words, the essence of the 600 volumes of the Great Prajnaparamita, then you've got it. The Blessed One's teachings really do have their cleverness. How can the key points help you remember? Why is it that there's nothing to possess, nothing to cling to? What is said in the Diamond Sutra? The appearance of the hands is all false. All phenomena are like dreams and bubbles. The Avatamsaka Sutra explains it even more thoroughly in the section on concentration. The truth is everything is momentary and mechanical. This is the true reality. The moment is neither born nor extinguished. If you understand it, congratulations, you've attained the formless Dharma. It means instant understanding. Are you something special? Why is that? You've attained the fruit of the formless Dharma. The formless Dharma means understanding in an instant. All phenomena are neither born nor extinguished. Birth and end are instant, hence in nothingness. The Inner Cause Sutra talks about everything being born and extinguished in an instant. So it's a nothingness, which means it can't be grasped, right? This is also the true reality, yeah. You think sometimes that there's something to gain, but that's just a delusion, mate. Break delusion, reach true Dharma. Don't even mention the 6 realms. They haven't left the myriad phenomena. It's clear that breaking through this barrier of delusion is really tough. Once you get past this delusion, you'll be free from the 10 realms and enter the realm of the one true Dharma. So you really need to cultivate merit. Yeah, and you've got to work on your blessings too. Gaining is all about the mindset. Merit really focuses on the heart and mind.